Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel, Messages from Venus. This is Maddie and this is a client reading. This is the phases of the moon reading. For those of you that this reading is not for, please purchase readings. You know where to find me. The information is in the description box. Happy new moon to all of you guys. Happy solar eclipse in the zodiac sign of Cancer. For those of us that are experiencing it, happy first week of July. I hope you guys are watering your life. I chose a little bit of a darker themed decks when it came to this reading. Now, because this is a monthly reading around the phases of the moon and the energies surrounding that, I'm gonna tell you guys this. Not only are we celebrating the new moon the first week of July, we're also celebrating Independence Day in America. So there's a lot of portals going on. 2 weeks from now, we'll be celebrating the full moon on a Tuesday, which is the same day that the new moon is. It's just 2 weeks out. And then on the 31st, we're going to have another new moon. So for those of you that are not purchasing this reading, that's what the information I just wanted to let you guys know that information. For the person this reading is for, I wanted to let you know that information because I'm going to give you an extra card or extra cards for the 31st because there is a second new moon within the same month, okay? Which doesn't happen all the time, but I just have to let you guys know that. So I am going to pull the cards for you and then I will interpret the cards. You didn't have any specific questions, but I want to thank you so much for choosing me to read for you and entrusting me to read for you because a lot of people trust others and never get thanked for it, you know. So I just want to thank you guys for choosing me to read for you all. And this is a spread, you guys. So I'm going to just choose the cards as they want to come out. Oh. Pull this and put it here. You might not be able to see all the cards because this is a little bit of a heavy spread. I mean, not a heavy spread, but it's like a longer lengthy spread. Okay, guys, so please do not get discouraged for the reading that this person is with. And if you ever received a reading from me, if the cards are all in reverse, do not be afraid. Let me look for my glasses. But do not be afraid or discouraged. They're just energies and they're here to be interpreted, okay? And not all the meanings in reverse are a problem, okay? I know some people get upset or discouraged if they see that their cards are reversed. So we're gonna start with this is the waxing gibbous, the first quarter, and the waxing crescent. And this is where your power lies. Where is your power for the month? Okay. And so we have summon, we have movement, and we also have success. And so your power lies in the fact that you have now understood not only where you're going, not because you didn't know that before, but now you understood how to tap into that power and move with the power. Because there's a very big difference in experiencing death. Notice how this is the number 13. And when you summon something, you have to summon something that is not active, that's not living. But in the same token, it's still alive. So it's not in the physical realm, but it's in the ethers, it's in the universe. It's somewhere outside of yourself, and you summon it to mold it, to create it. And I feel like in the past, what you've been doing is trying to see how you can tap into the power, slowly gaining energy, slowly trying to obtain energy from any which way that you could, but you've never really moved with it. But I feel like in this first quarter, in the waxing gibbous, the first quarter, and the waxing crescent, you will see yourself moving within these energies. You will see yourself participating in group activities, I feel. I'm not quite sure if you're still in school, but you will participate in gatherings, in activities that have to do something with not only that something that's outside of yourself, but also with humanity, also interacting with other people. Do not be afraid to speak your truth. Like, I feel so many goosebumps around me. Don't feel afraid to speak your truth because you feel like you are wrong, or you feel like it's the wrong answer. Even as if the truth is coming out in you, like being in the subway, and you're taking the train, and you're on the subway, or you're in a public area or transportation, and someone says something and you feel like you need to put your 2 cents into it, go ahead and do it. It's going to give you the platform of being a leader. It's going to give you the platform for opening your throat chakra, which is what you need to summon in this physical realm as well. Because when you're out here doing your spells, your manifestations, you guys, know that. And I'm saying you guys, even though this is for you, this is your reading, but I know other people are watching because this is a public video. So the way that you summon the energies is by you, let's say, lighting a candle. You speak to the candle, you tell the candle what you want, or you write to the candle, you write on the candle. And I feel like that's something that you need to learn, and that you will be learning, to be able to harness the energy and be more in control, less anxiety during this time of the month. Now, when you actually do succeed, make sure that you enjoy every second, every 28 seconds, every 30 seconds or 60 seconds of that success. Enjoy it, marinate yourself into it, but don't let it get up over your head, okay? The important way of living this life within the spiritual community, within the magic of life. But I'm going to say spiritual community because this is a spiritual reading, is to not let your ego imbalance the other sides of yourselves, the other corners of yourselves, okay? So you're going to feel an achievement. You're going to feel success. You're going to feel like, you know what, I finally accomplished something, and it's going to move me on to the next step, okay? Don't let that get up over your head. Now, the next sections are the cards in the middle. These 2 cards here are going to be the cards for the new moon at the end of the month, which is still the month of July. So this is these 3 sections here. This is the full moon. So I'm going to start here, the full moon, and this is the bigger picture. So what's going on outside of yourself that you should be noticing, that you might be blindsided with. So we have these 2 cards, and I'm not going to give you the names of the cards. I'm going to just have you look at them on the screen, and I'm going to just give you the information as it comes to me. What's going on outside of yourself is that you are unconsciously making decisions that are moving you forward. Just because you don't see them, or just because your physical self, I'm gonna say, let's say your name is I'm gonna give you a name, it's Susan. We all know that's not your name, but let's say that your name is Susan. You as Susan don't see your higher self, which may be Gaia, right? Let's say your higher self, and the name of your higher self is Gaia. You do not see that, what Gaia is doing for you, but you're actually moving. You are actually moving. I also see there are 2/4 of your life. There are 2 parts of your life. There's your higher life and your lower self. And your higher self, which is the self that is the unseen, the self that nobody sees, that is only you and this other self, which we just called it Gaia, is currently undecided, or confused about whether or not you should acknowledge the things that you've been through, whether or not these things are actually important, and whether these things are something that you should be going back and forth in your mind. Now, your lower self isn't necessarily your bad self, or something or someone or an energy that is bad, that is not good, in a sense. That's not what it is. Your lower self, to me, is your emotional self, the self that has yet been able to realize that it needs to become part of your entire self, your all. Okay, it is the part that everyone sees. Everyone sees you walking. Everyone sees you going from point A to point B, but they don't see your struggle. Okay, now what you don't see, if you didn't understand that, is one, the gifts and surprises and the unseen that your higher self is giving to you and is providing to you, is giving you the steps for you to be able to move forward. So when you feel like, you know what, I don't know where I'm going, the steps are being created, even though you don't see the unseen hand creating your steps. And then the other part of yourself is that which you need to recognize. You need to recognize your hard work, and you need to give yourself full credit for your hard work, okay? Absolutely full credit for your hard work. It takes 2 to tango, your physical self and your unseen, and they're both tangoing, and they're both moving, okay? And they're both moving with absolute stride. Slowly but surely, you will win the race, okay? Now, the next 2 cards are where you are right now. And these are the 2 cards, where you are right now. And I'm going to show you the 2 cards. So, you feel like during the middle of the month, and I'm saying maybe like after the 7th, I consider this like mid or the beginning of mid-month already, the beginning of the 2nd week of the month. You feel like you have to make a decision whether it's the things that you want or the things that you think that you want in life, and you will have to fight for that, okay? Again, this goes back to, I feel like during this week, you'll be able to realize what I'm saying during this section of your life is what is the unseen. Now you're realizing that it's now coming forward to you. It's now creating a platform for you to say, you know what, you're absolutely right. I have to appreciate the things that I've done. I have to move forward. Okay, I can't just expect to please everybody. You can't be a people pleaser. Somewhere along the line, you have to please yourself. Okay, and even if your 2 selves aren't even pleasing yourself as a whole, you cannot please someone outside of yourself if you haven't been able to please yourself. You cannot please other people if you haven't been able to make decisions about what it is that you want, and choosing whether what it is that you want or what it is that you need is what you're going to go forward with. And that's called alchemy, and you are learning to become an alchemist. Okay, you are absolutely learning to become an alchemist. I also feel like there are 3 people in your life. Okay, there is someone who is very well spoken, and he is someone who's guiding you. He has the energy of Elegua, or might be Elegua himself, teaching you that being the good person or being the good girl isn't always the answer. You have to act upon other people. You have to move the chessboard sometimes. Again, reminder, from the 7th or the 8th until maybe the 12th or the 13th of the month, you're going to experience something that's going to allow you to understand that you have to speak out, and you have to defend yourself. And that sometimes even going against your friends, or telling your, it might be something simple as turning around and snapping as your friend, or something that your friend is saying or a colleague is saying is going to give you the power that you need to put yourself in a position where you're now in control. And that's okay. Okay, that's okay. Do not undermine yourself. Now, moving along to the next step, we have the new moon, or around the energies of the new moon. Okay, so we have these two amazing cards here. And this is telling me that somewhere along the two moons, the two new moons, I mean, you will have to get rid of something that you thought you wanted. Okay, it's going to be some sort of sacrifice. It can be something just as simple as you going shopping, as you saying, you know what, I don't want to buy this deck, I'm going to buy this deck, I'm going to buy these shoes, I'm not going to buy these shoes. Believe it or not, these decisions in your life will bring about absolute balance, because from this first new moon to the next new moon, I see a lot of change, okay? In a sense where you're not doing things by emotion, you are doing things by logic. There's a lot of swords in your cards, okay? You have 4 sword cards, okay? And this tells me that you are making decisions in your life that are no longer carried by emotion. You are using your logic, and you are also losing that which you thought you wanted. And that's going to be very difficult on your heart. It's going to be very difficult on your heart, because sometimes we might be so caught up with the things that we want, but I want it, I want him, I want this, I want that. And we lose focus on what we actually need. And I feel like that is a very big theme in this reading. Now, by the time the energy of the 31st strikes, which is the next new moon, not this new moon, but the next new moon, you have an experience of a lifetime, they're telling me. An experience of a lifetime, because you're going to experience you elevating, astral travel, and being conscious while you're astral traveling. And this gives you a glimpse of hope that, with this hope card, that where you're going spiritually is exactly where you need to be. Okay? So if you pay attention to this reading, speak your truth. This entire reading is telling you over and over again, speak your truth. Acknowledge where you came from. Please acknowledge where you came from. Acknowledge me. The past is telling you, acknowledge me, acknowledge me. I'm moving you forward. I'm pushing you forward. I'm elevating you forward to the future, so that by the time the end of the month comes around, you understand the power within yourself, and you are no longer afraid of her. You are no longer afraid of your power, and that's amazing. Okay? Then we have the waxing gibbous, the third quarter, and the waxing crescent. And these energies are telling you what you should let go of, and also catapulting you into the next month. So we are letting go of harnessing strength. We're letting go of not implicating our strengths or putting our strengths upon other people. I know you always want to be nice. I know you always want to be the good person. You always want to be the person that acknowledges other people, that wants to be around other people, that cares for other people, but you cannot always do that. Sometimes you have to have tough love, okay? And what's going to catapult you to the next month is the loyalty that you have for yourself, the loyalty that you have for the new self, for your new and revitalized self, okay? Let me see if I see any other messages when it comes to the tarot as a whole. I see changes in your finances as well when it comes to mid-month, like the 12th or the 13th. Even if it's something simple as you finding $1, finding a quarter, finding a nickel in the street. No, this is a change in your finances, because it's telling you that you are gaining respect, you are gaining power, you are gaining frequency and energy for you to be able to have that experience within your within the energy of the next new moon, not today, which is the new moon, the second happy new moon, but the 31st of the month. They're telling me this: you should have an altar to yourself if you don't have one. Create an altar to yourself because you need energy. There's a lot of tug and pull within energies that are, yes, in the physical realm, but also outside of yourself. The people in your life require too much of you. The people in your life require you to be absolutely immaculate. I feel like your family members, even your guides sometimes, whether you know all of them or not, expect you to be very diplomatic. You have to do things in accordance. Otherwise, you feel out of balance. They would like people to look up to you, whether you are the firstborn or not. They want, or the only child, they want people to look at you as somebody immaculate. And that's something that's it's very difficult, and it's weighing on you. And it's one of the reasons that you have not been able to create an alchemy of yourself where you build balance within both your higher self and your lower self. So your unseen self and your physical self, your Susan and your Gaia, to become the creator. And that's, I feel, is the main issue with you not wanting to make a mistake. And so you feel like you're walking on eggshells all the time. And I also feel like you should watch for arguments with someone that you like, that you admire, and or your significant other. Watch for arguments, okay? Make sure that you are on top of your game when it comes to this argument or disagreement. Otherwise, you will lose the disagreement and or argument, or you will lose this person's view of you, or focus on you, I should say. Not view of you, but the focus of you. You will, if you don't compromise, or you don't, or you lash out at this person in a way where it's not strategic. Because remember, in the beginning of the reading, I said, listen, if you have to lash out, if you have to speak your truth, speak your truth. But there's a difference between you speaking your truth and just being straight up nasty and inconsiderate. That's not what that is, okay? You can speak your truth, like I'm giving you this reading now, and being diplomatic and getting your point across. The strategy is that you want to get your point across, okay? Otherwise, you will lose this person for like a day or two, for like 2 seconds, because they won't recognize, and nor will they realize what you're trying to tell them. So I hope that you enjoyed this reading, that you understood the message, and thank you again for choosing me to read for you. And I will see you guys in the next video. Please like, share, and subscribe. Please continue to water your life, and thank you so much for being such an asset to humanity, okay? I love you guys all. Bye.